Welcome back, my Pachos, Chachos, to another Pasho perspective. As always, I am your host, Pasho. Today, we're going to do a little history reminder because it is worth the reminding. When China switched from its imperialist government to communism, there was something known in the Chinese Communist Revolution as the Four Olds. And although they were never technically defined, I have some ideas of my own that we have here in the United States and that are also being destroyed, replaced, erased, eliminated. I don't know how you want to phrase it. But in China, they had to destroy four things. They knew, right? Marxists and communists and socialists all know that in order to take over, you have to destroy four foundational things of a nation. The first are their ideas. Now, I don't know about how the Four Olds were really applied in China and what exactly they claimed it to be, since nothing was officially considered as part of the Four Olds. It was just this idea that they needed to be eliminated. But here in the United States, the ideas that we hold true and that we value are those of equality and freedom. And right now, it's under attack. One, because, well, the racism is rampant. And so the equality is out the window. Being racist against white people is still being racist. And it's not anti-racism, it's just racism. It's an ugly color on all people. And we're not allowed to say certain things against certain groups. We can't use certain words that groups can use with themselves. That's not an equality country, or a country that really cares about equality anymore. We also had the old idea of freedom, that we were all free to do as we please, to pursue whatever makes us happy in our life without worry of being killed. But we are bringing in a bunch of people who have very contradictory ideas to that idea. They want to bring in Sharia law, which will restrict all of our rights. It will force us to pay taxes if we don't convert, if they don't kill us first. Our women who are, God bless them, beautiful, but angry, I guess, resentful, bitter, are siding with these people without recognizing that in the end, once they do become 51%, once they do have the power, as they are so vocally saying now without hiding it on the internet, you're going to be thrown into burqas, and your opinions will not be acceptable any longer. Let's just say that in a nice way. You won't be free to move around without a blood relative who is male, without being whipped or whatever the Sharia law says is your punishment should be. The second of the Four Olds, along with ideas being the first, is culture. Right? We need a culture that is Christian-based. We were founded on a culture that was Christian-based. We were founded on the idea of nuclear families, of a father and a mother raising their children together at home. We had a culture of holidays. Look at all the movies from the 1950s, all those wonderful Christmas movies, Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, White Christmas, beautiful movies, which again is our culture as well. Our history is part of our culture, and they're, again, trying to change it and destroy it. Instead of being Christian-based, we now have a bunch of radicals who are, atheists would be nice. They're worse than that. They're antagonistically against Christians. And New York City voted in a socialist who openly hates those people and called for a global intifada, which means to kill Jews, and yet How many indoctrinated, brainwashed Jews of New York City voted for this man to get into power? They want to replace our holidays. Paris already is canceling New Year's because they're too afraid of some psycho jihadist blowing people up. I won't be surprised in a couple of years if New York City does the same thing. Make it so dangerous that the better option is just to erase it, to cancel it. We no longer say Merry Christmas like we used to. I'm tired of walking these hallways and hearing everybody saying Happy Holidays. The season is Christmas season. We're in Advent right now. Christmas will come upon us. The whole world, its timeline, revolves around the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Which is another reason why they want to change it, right? They hate Jesus. They would rather choose Barabbas. Even Shylock says, I would rather my daughter marry the lineage of Barabbas than to marry a Christian. That's how much they hate us. Nuclear families, I mean, I don't even have to tell you. The black community was well over 80% husband and wife in the home when Martin Luther King was breathing. And now we're lucky if it's 30% of the households have a husband and a wife, a mother and a father for these children to help raise them, guide them, bring them to our Lord. And so no wonder you destroy that. And women don't know how to teach boys to be men. They're not men. They don't know the process. They don't know the experience. They can raise boys into old bodies that look like men, but they still are emotionally tarded, don't know how to handle their frustrations, don't know how to communicate with people. All they know how to do is lash out like animals, beating people for no reason. And it was on purpose. Take the father out of the home. Incentivize a woman to want the government to be her daddy, right? Make it so disgusting that a woman have to submit to a man that she will just willingly submit to the government to be the substitute of that man. And the government doesn't raise men, it raises slaves. Useful idiots to do as they want to be done, like the brown shirts of Hitler, to cause chaos and then to allow them to pounce in and say, I will be your hero and end the chaos. Like all of a sudden the BLM protest disappeared after Joe Biden became president. Isn't that amazing? Now we're a culture of protesters, taking it to the street. That was not what we used to do, not as often as now. Only in key pivotal events in history. Wasn't in every month, every day. Certainly not funded, not dropping off pallets of bricks. Having a million signs already prepared. Paying these people who are jobless, despots of our society, moving from city to city to cause chaos and protest. That's also a change in our culture. The third of the four O's, again, the first being ideas, the second culture. The third is customs. Things like weddings, sweet 16s, going to church, participating in sport events, going to movies, sharing literature. All these things are being replaced now. Now we have polygamy. People are marrying. I saw something in the news, maybe she was Chinese, maybe Japanese, but she married her AI character. We have people marrying man and man, woman and woman. Completely changed what our country used to be. The movies are all crap. Everybody is gay. Song of Achilles, sorry to spoil it, sucks because they made Achilles a homosexual. The movie The Return about Odysseus sucks. They changed him into an old, dusty, crusty fart who is pathetic and not a hero legend, begging his wife to come back to him. I mean, that is what sustained him for so many years to return. And they made him a coward. And they turn Telemachus into a homosexual, of course. Which, whatever, I mean, do what you want to do. But I'm just pointing out that we are certainly changing the customs of this country, like China had to do in order to bring in socialism and communism. What else? They want underage marriage. That's another custom they want to do, right? If you're going to bring in Sharia law, then you're going to bring in a bunch of pedophile rapists who want to marry 9-year-olds because she started bleeding, so that makes her an adult in our religion. Because they don't care about her mind. They don't care about her soul. They certainly don't care about her choice and wish to be with someone she loves. That custom will disappear too. Women will lose their rights. They'll have to be separated at church with a curtain, men on one side, women on the other, because they are considered to be like dogs. I don't think women are dogs. But this religion that seeks to dominate us because they're not assimilating, and if you come and you don't assimilate, you are invading. And invaders seek domination. We don't go to church anymore. Although, thank God, Gen Z is making a resurrection back to that. People are getting baptized and stuff. But prior to this wonderful movement, we don't go except on the major holidays. We don't participate. We don't receive the bread. We don't hear the word that we need to guide us through the next week, to be good, to be loving, to be generous and compassionate and merciful. And so when we forget the words of God, that's what we do. We forget to be generous and compassionate and loving and merciful. Sport events, there's fights all over the place that used to be the one unifier that would bring us all together. And now you just see countless videos of people fighting, whether it's race, whether it's what sports team. I mean, again, we are all becoming more violent and aggressive instead of being able to talk about our differences, which is a change in the customs of our nation. Our habits, that's the fourth old. So you have ideas, culture, customs, and habits are also changing. For example, the dating field or system or process or whatever you want to call it, courtship, is completely different. Guys can't walk up to girls anymore because we have convinced women that men are so useless that they don't need them, that they laugh in their faces when they approach them. And who wants to approach a girl anyway when she's holding hands with another girl? I mean, we've turned our country into a bunch of young lesbians. That's all I see in the hallways. And no wonder men don't want to talk to girls because, well, girls aren't interested. And I think maybe social media has something to do with that, where women are forced to look at beautiful women because of algorithms that work on their anxieties and insecurities. And so if they're insecure in the way they look, then they're blasted, of course, by a bunch of beautiful women. And who can blame them? Women are beautiful. But then they get taken away from their purpose, which again is kind of the habits of this country. That a woman was supposed to raise a family, have children. Ask your parents, are you the greatest thing that ever happened in their life? I mean, I remember the line from I want to say Japanese father in the Goonies, who tells his son Data at the end, you are my greatest invention. Do your parents still think you're the greatest thing in the world? So why would you think it's a burden? Were you just a clump of cells? We've changed our fashion. That's another thing. Women used to dress modestly. They used to value themselves and didn't just show the world all of their lumps and humps and curves and inlets. Now there's nothing left to the imagination. No wonder that males have become more sexualized, more perverted, less wanting to commit to women, because why would I marry you when I can also get Sally and Mary and Jessica and Jennifer and whoever else that's just waiting out there, and they all want to screw too, because it's a smash culture. It's not a dating culture where you get to know people and then you can make good decisions. But now we just smash and smash. And then at the end, when the girl is used up, she decides, oh, now I deserve to be a mother and do all these things. And unfortunately, we don't have men. We have boys, and they're all simps, and they're going to wife them up. Right? They're going to wife up the OnlyFans models who suck and hump to make a living. And how nice that you get to be rich for being a whore. How nice for you. The first time in our society where back then it was shamed. It was awful to be a whore. And now that's like life goals, right? As soon as I turn 18, I got the page and the content already ready. And of course, disgusting old perverted men are going to make them millionaires in a month. Another custom that's changed here, reading my notes now. English was our national language, but now, I mean, there's Arabic letters on the police patches in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. I'm in South Florida. I barely ever hear English. And I'm an English teacher. If we don't have a national language, how can we communicate with each other? How can we be united if you don't know what I'm saying and I don't know what you're saying? We need to have some things that we share, like ideas that we stand firm on, like freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition for redress against the government, or something like that. We used to all honor the same God and say Merry Christmas. And we all had mothers and fathers at the home who were waiting for us. We celebrated the same holidays. We weren't annoyed by fireworks on the 4th of July, and we sure as hell didn't do anything on Juneteenth, garbage fake holiday. Even the habit of protecting yourself is changing. In California and other states too, all blue. They don't want you to have the right to defend yourself. They want you to open your doors. Let them steal everything. Put all your jewelry and everything in the front room so they don't go to your bedroom and kill you and rape you, because, of course, criminals don't want to do that. They only go into your bedroom if the jewels are there, and then they rape you and kill you and rob you. I don't remember what jackass said it, but some stupid police officer. Oh, yeah, New York City. No, it wasn't New York City, but it was some northern state. Maybe it was Canada, and they were telling the people that, you know, if you don't want these guys to come into your bedroom and rape you, then just, you know, put everything in the front room, and they'll take it and then they'll leave. And even Greg Gutfeld knows that's a bunch of bullshit. He had a funny joke where he said that he might as well just leave his door open and put his ass up in the air too, right? Make it easy for the rapist. I think some clown in Canada told the people that if they don't want their house to be robbed, leave your car keys on the doorstep, because they just want your car. And if you leave your keys on the doorstep, they'll take the keys, they'll take the car, and they won't break into your home and rape you and kill you and your children too. Isn't that great? Right? Like in California, that if somebody breaks into your house, you are advised to exit the back door. Let them ransack it, everything that you've worked for, and then go back into your home. I don't know about you, my Pachos Chachos, but this is not the country that I want to raise my children in. This is not the country that I was raised in. We are giving up everything without a fight. Like with COVID, where nobody fought, or very few did. Everyone else just complied, which made it harder for those who were fighting against it to win. And we're going to do the same thing with our suicidal empathy because we want to love everyone else more than ourselves. We're going to let them take everything, including our country, unless we stand up and do something about it. Until we proclaim to the world and to all these invaders who are in our home that we will no longer accept their ideas, their ideology of Islam and Sharia. We will maintain our freedom, and women will be equal to men. You will not be able to subjugate our women or to enslave them. We need a culture strong like Daniel Penny, who stood up for the weak because he was strong. Not a bunch of sissy pansies with cell phone in hand recording it and doing nothing. And why? Oh, you might get hit. You might suffer some pain for a few minutes, maybe hours, days. But sure, that life is gone. That girl's virtue and virginity and innocence gone. We need more Daniel Pennies and less cell phone holding losers, which we have become. We need to proclaim that we are a Christian nation. Our Constitution was built upon Christian values. Christian and only Christian. There were no Goldsteins or Feinbergs or Netanyahus in Philadelphia declaring our independence. We need nuclear families, not weirdo families with surrogates buying children as if they were commodity. We need a man and a woman to love each other again and to build the foundation that every society needs to thrive. We need to get rid of all these garbage holidays that we're celebrating now. I mean, I appreciate getting paid and the day off, but we are losing our identity on purpose. Because once the ideas no longer hold us together, once the culture no longer holds us together, once our customs are gone and our habits are gone, then we are not united. There is nothing that unites us then. And Sun Tzu said, divide and conquer. Abraham Lincoln knew a house divided cannot stand. Reagan knew that if this country dies, it will be from the inside. And because Joe Biden for 4 years imported the worst of the worst, everyone who hates us, did not vet them, did not ask them to assimilate, to declare their intentions. You know, you want to come here and you do it the right way and you want to be an American because you're in love with those ideas and the culture and customs and habits that I've talked about, then you're welcome. But if you're going to be a criminal border jumper and not learn our language and leech off of our money, we don't want you. You don't deserve to be here, and we don't want you. If your country is so great, go back to it. If you were supposedly so great, why didn't you make your shithole third world country better? But no, like losers, you leave. You leave your country, your values, your culture behind instead of making it better. Like a cancer that eats up one part of the body and then moves to another one. You don't fix, you don't heal, you don't contribute. 89% of Somalians on welfare. Disgusting. The abuse and fraud that this nation now is synonymous to, the corruption, the foreign manipulators who own our Congress, all of them bought and paid for, and I'm even sorry to say, probably my beloved president has more allegiance to a foreign nation than to his own people because they fund him better? Or because he wants to be part of the elites when it all goes down? Well, this is something that I've been wanting to make a recording on for a while. And I don't mean to be a downer, but change doesn't happen until we start accepting the truth. And the truth is, the West is being attacked. Catholics and Christians are continually being attacked. I got more to say, but I think this is a long enough episode. As always, I thank you for your support. I thank you for your time and consideration and all the things that I talk about. God bless you. Pachos, Chachos for life. And I probably won't be making another recording until next year, so Merry Christmas.